Thanks for tuning in and listening to Make Shit Happen podcast. I appreciate it. Today I want to talk about something about me. There's a lot of people who send me messages over Instagram, and a lot of people don't know me. I'm from Houston, Texas, and I've been in Houston for a while. And, but there's a lot of people outside of Houston that don't know me and what it is. So first thing I want to tell you is, I started my business at 21 years old. When I was 21 years old, there's a lot of people who, self-proclaimed entrepreneurs, self-proclaimed business gurus, but they have never built anything one day in their life. I mean, they have never built a business. They have never went through the struggle. They have never, had that problem of how they're going to make cash flow meet, how they're going to make sure payroll meets, how they're going to pay the rent, how they're going to make sure the lights stay on and everything, how they're going to pay the taxes. But they go ahead and claim themselves as self-proclaimed entrepreneurs, business gurus, or whatever they want to call it, call themselves. Hey, I've been in business for over 21 years now. It's going to be 22 years this June. And I've been through the struggles. I started with nothing. Mommy and daddy didn't give me a check, write me a check and say, hey, here you go, start your business. It didn't work like that. I've struggled. And, when, I'm an immigrant. So when I came to this country, several years ago, it was 6 of us, my mom, my dad, 4 brothers and sisters living out of a 1-bedroom apartment, had our first set of couch. My mom got it out of the trash can and we washed it and she put springs in there, so my mom and dad struggled for us to make sure that we have a better life. But, I struggled in business. So I started everything ground up, and I almost went out of business 2-3 times, and business, a lot of people think, oh, you know what, you just start something and everything happens. No, you don't start something and door opens up and, nowadays people, there's so much money out there, angel investors and venture capitalists and seed money and crowdfunding and all kind of stuff, and people think it's easy. I mean, and it might have been, but when I started back in 98, it was just like me going on faith and say hard work. I knew one principle and one principle only, and that was hard work. There's a lot of things I wish I would have known, and I recommend people knowing something about business before they go in business. Definitely take a business class. Take, what is a cash flow? I didn't know what cash flow was till 2 or 3 years I was in business. Only knew one thing. I'm like, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there every morning. I'm gonna be there every night. I'm gonna be there on every weekend. I'm gonna be there every day. I'm gonna make sure I sell to whoever I talk to. And didn't know anything about how much advertising I needed to do. Didn't know anything about marketing. Didn't know anything about anything. And I encourage anyone who's an aspiring entrepreneur to take some classes, read some books. And there's a lot of good books out there. Seven Habits of Highly Effective People, by Stephen Covey. I mean, there's nowadays books coming out every week from some entrepreneur. I mean, internet has changed so much and it's so good for so many people. I honestly think, you should definitely try and learn something about business before you get in there. But one thing that you can never learn is the value of hard work, the value of, being self-motivated. You got to know that. I mean, you just got to have it in you, and don't worry about, don't be afraid of putting in hours. I started my business in 98. I went ahead in. There was no plan B, because, if I had a plan B, then, my plan A wouldn't succeed. I mean, I was focused on one thing only, and that was on plan A. And that's it. Plan A is going to work, and that's it. There's no and if buts about it. But I started at 21, so I was still very young. But I never thought, okay, what if I fail? I'm still very young. I can do something else. I'm like, hey, it's gonna do it, and it's gonna happen, and we're gonna make it happen. And that's what a lot of people don't think. They always have a plan B before they even start putting plan A into action. A lot of people go into business because, and I talk about this all the time, people go into business because they think they want freedom. They want freedom of time. They want more time to themselves. And, people have the wrong perception of business. If you're going to have your own business, and if you're going to own a business, you should not worry about how many hours am I going to work. There's not enough time in the day, I promise you, if you go into your business, and that's one thing that you should never think about the first several years, that, oh, you know what, I don't want to work that many hours, I don't want to work more. If you don't give time to your business is not going to return the favor to you. I promise you that. If you are going in business for a reason that you want to be free and you want to have freedom and you want to go to work whenever you want to, you want to go, if you don't want to go to work, you don't have to. You want to take the weekends off, you want to go, you want to suck all the cash out of your business, and every money that your business makes is your personal money. If you're thinking that, please work for somebody else. Do not start your own business, because your business will not survive with that mindset. You have to go in business saying that, hey, I'm going to take as little as possible money for the first 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. Every money I make, I reinvest in it, and I'm going to build my business. You can't go buy a Ferrari. You can't go buy a Lamborghini. You can't go buy fancy clothes. You can't go fancy. Matter of fact, you know what? I ran into Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V. And, man, I love Gary V, and I follow him all the time. And I said, hey, and he talked about how me and him, we bleeded. And you got to bleed before you drink the champagne. And then I said, hey, don't go fancy. And he said, fuck fancy. And he's right. You can't be fancy when you're starting your own business, man. You can't fuck fancy. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, you gotta be humble. You gotta reinvest in your business. There's so many people that go into business and then they leave their business cash poor and they go crazy and they go fancy. And I mean, if you're gonna go into business thinking you want to be fancy so you can show people that you're successful, even though you're not, just to portray yourself as successful, that's the wrong reason to be in business. Don't go over in business for that. And I'm telling you, I struggled a lot, and I still. I'm still building, towards something that's big. And a lot of people always ask me, man, hey, if you're just going to keep building and you're not going to spend it, when are you going to spend it? Well, there's two reasons why people go in business. Have a business that's going to make money and you can live good. And some people go in there to have a business, build it. And when you build it enough, then you live good. I might be the second one, but that's my principle. A lot of people ask me, if I have mentors or anything. So that's one thing I want to tell you. I've never had a mentor when I started the business. There was a lot of people who inspired me. I looked at successful people, what they do and how they do it. And I'm, honestly, like, I get inspired by them. Is being mentored a bad thing? Definitely not. Because you can always have people who are in your business who come through it and you talk to them and they tell you something and you can take them as your mentor. You don't have to have somebody. Business coaching. A lot of people always ask me about business coaching and, is it good to have a coach? I think it's always good to have a coach as long as you're not overpaying, especially when you're starting in business. Because if you're overpaying somebody, it's not good. I heard Damon John podcast on NPR the other day. Damon had a $300,000 order and he couldn't fulfill it, so his mom told him it's time for a strategic partner. It's not a bad idea about having a strategic partner, because a strategic partner can build some processes in your business and can overlook at you and make sure that you're not spending right and everything. So I do believe in processes, and I do believe in consultants who can instill some process in your thing, as long as you don't overpay. Sometimes you just got to eat fried chicken instead of, eating filet mignon every night. I mean, you just got to do that. Ramen noodles some days, every day is not a steak and champagne night. Or, when you're in business, so important that you looking at your overhead, keeping your overhead low, making sure that the business is prospering and you're not leaving that business cash poor, not sucking the life out of it. Because if you do suck the life out of it, the business will die. I mean, it'll crumble. Wanted people to know a little bit about me and what I think and my perspective on some of the stuff is marketing and advertising are two things that everybody should do. If you have a party at your house and you don't invite anybody, guess who's going to show up? Nobody. So marketing is really important. Advertising is really important. A business with no sign is a sign of no business. A business with no marketing is, gonna die. So I truly believe in marketing. I truly believe in advertising. But then you got to, same thing. You got to be cognizant of what you're spending and where you're spending it at. You just can't spend it because you have to spend it. You got to make sure that it's yielding the results, it's bringing you back the result that you are looking for. If it's 2020, if you're not marketing on social media, Facebook, Instagram, you're not buying those Facebook, Instagram ads, you're doing yourself injustice. If you don't know how to do it, there's so many, millennials who want to be digital gurus, and they, hire one of them. They'll do it for you. If you're not advertising on Google, YouTube, connected TV, digital marketing, you're losing. TV and radio, I think it's still are very existent. Even though they're going down, digital is going up. So if you don't have big marketing budgets, definitely spend it on digital before I go to TV and radio. Print is a dying medium. So if you don't have big budgets, don't spend it on print. Guys, that's a couple of things I want to talk about. And that's it. I mean, that's me. So, that's something that goes through Sammy Z's mind. I'm at work every day. Work still 50 to 60 hours. So if you are young and you're just an aspiring entrepreneur, don't be scared of putting in work, and then work more. Don't go fancy. Don't go plan on vacations every week, every 2 weeks or something like that. Work on your business first. If you are really wanting to be an entrepreneur and you really wanting to build a business that will pay you back tenfold. Talk to you soon. Subscribe to my YouTube channel at Life of Super Sammy Z. Subscribe to my podcast, Make Shit Happen. It's available on all podcast platforms. I'm on Instagram at Life of Super Sammy Z. Also on LinkedIn, Sam Zavery. Guys, check me out. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to me. Thanks for supporting me. See you soon.